The more than 2 months old pro-Palestinian encampment at McGill University is coming down. This is video provided by student groups on campus. They say private security guards surrounded protesters at the encampment this morning. Police are also on the scene. McGill told the protesters this morning that they were going to be evicted. CBC's Sarah Levitt joins us now live from McGill. So, Sarah, what's happening right now where you are? I mean, there's some rain coming down, so that might be dampening things there. But what are you seeing?
Well, first of all, there is a slight side protest where the police have set up this perimeter around McGill, and so some protesters have come in protest, in fact, of what's happening here. Let me show you a bit of what the camp looks like. This, starting, as you said, early this morning, McGill actually hired a private security firm to come in and give some warnings to the people that were here. And you can see, you know, they have the equipment there. They've been tearing this site down. We've seen truckloads full of stuff leaving. McGill sending a message to their students and staff, the community, and sharing it with the media, essentially saying that they felt that this camp was no longer a peaceful protest, that there were incidents of harassment, that there were destruction of private property, and that they felt they needed to move in. And because Montreal police weren't doing it, that they would move in. Also, the president saying, having a number of allegations about what was happening inside the camp. CBC hasn't independently verified those, but among them, drug use, rat infestation, and there were a number of unhoused people using the camp. And so they justified the movement this morning by saying they needed to move in. In Quebec City, Premier François Legault just quickly commenting, saying enfin, enfin, which means finally, finally. And let's hear from Pascal Derry, who is the Minister of Higher Education.
It's been weeks that we've been asking for these encampments to be dismantled. I think it's good news today. We had lots of incidents on campuses that happened in the last couple of months. There's some teachers that do not want to teach anymore on campus. I'm trying to work with the rectors, with the institutions, as well as colleges, to make sure we have a fall. We come back to a certain atmosphere where there's calm and where we can dialogue properly.
Protesters have been on campus there for months now. So can you tell us a bit about the background about how we got to this point?
Yeah, well, it started at the very tail end of April in response to what was happening in the United States in other colleges there. People setting up camp here, asking the university to divest from any funds related to Israeli organizations or funds, in fact. And from there, they've really built a fully functioning camp. There were two separate attempts at emergency injunctions. Both were denied, one from students who felt unsafe, the other from McGill University. Both were denied. And so the students here felt like, or the protesters here felt like they were allowed to be here. Let's hear from one of them who didn't much like what the president had to say and those allegations that I alluded to earlier.
Well, these are blatant lies that, you know, they're meant to demonize the student movement, demonize their own students. McGill has sought to demonize its own students for standing against genocide. It just tells you what type of administration this is. And all of those lies are absolutely ridiculous. They're absolutely ridiculous. They are baseless. There's absolutely no proof, no evidence for these claims. It's astounding to see the extent that the McGill administration and Deep Saini is willing to go to suppress the student movement.
And, McGill has said so far that they won't comment while the investigation is ongoing, although they have said one thing through their communications team, and that is that they feel what they have done today is perfectly legal, given that it's private property, and knowing the allegations that they have said allowed them to move in and take back their campus, as they put it.
Okay, Sarah, thanks so much for the latest there. That's CBC's Sarah Levitt in Montreal.